and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, broadcast live from our studios here in Abuja. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Let's take the headlines. President Buhari on an official visit to Kaduna State inaugurates projects. National Executive Council approves provision of farm inputs and equipment for Youth Farmers Scheme. National Assembly passes Electoral Act Amendment Bill, rescinds decision on direct primaries as only mode of primaries for political parties. Plus, Super Eagles in a smooth ride to victory qualify for the group of 16 matches at AFCON with maximum points ambience.
Iheanacho with the far post, it's in the back of the net. Nigeria have scored that.
President Adama Barrow of the Gambia has been sworn in for a second term in office. President Muhammadu Buhari, who tremendously supported the Gambia in safeguarding democratic order in 2017, was the special guest of honor at the ceremony. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports from Banjul.
President Adama Barrow's inauguration for his first term in office was held in the Gambian embassy in Dakar, Senegal. The then president, Yahya Jammeh, refused to step down despite losing the December 1, 2016 election, thereby deepening political crisis. President Muhammadu Buhari's Nigeria played a leading role in safeguarding democratic order as well as the restoration of normalcy in the country. The Gambian leader's re-election for a second term in office therefore provided another opportunity for him to be sworn in, this time in the heart of Banjul amidst pomp and pageantry. At a historic and remarkable event attended by several heads of state and government, President Adama Barrow pledged to sustain efforts at achieving a sustainable future for the Gambia, together in unity, peace and prosperity. In an earlier congratulatory message, President Muhammadu Buhari described President Barrow's re-election as a testimony to the trust and confidence he rightfully earned from the Gambians, and therefore an opportunity to consolidate gains achieved so far and strengthen initiatives for citizen development, a key fundamental for peace and stability. He said Nigeria, which supported the restoration of democracy in the Gambia, will remain resolute towards ensuring that it is sustained. The president promised that his administration will also retain its support to the Gambia's government efforts at strengthening its judicial sector as well as establishing strong economic institutions. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema speaks on the significance of President Buhari's attendance at the presidential inaugural ceremony.
You recall some years back that the then president, Jammeh, was not willing to respect the election results. And Mr. President was the one that gave the directives for a land, air and sea move towards the Gambia. And of course this was the moment when Jammeh now left the country. So Mr. President was very much at the front and center of the retention of the democratic process and culture here in the Gambia. So, you know, it's very, not just symbolic, but also, you know, significant that the person who made this possible should be here to see and, you know, and appreciate the fruits of his very decisive leadership.
President Buhari has since returned to Nigeria. Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari begins an official visit to Kaduna State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports that the president flew in from Banjul, the Gambia, where he attended the inauguration ceremony of President Adama Barrow for a second term in office. He was received on arrival by Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai and other top federal and state government officials in Kaduna. While in Kaduna, President Buhari is expected to inaugurate several landmark infrastructure projects executed by the El-Rufai administration. The projects, cutting across various sectors of the economy, are located in all the senatorial districts of the state for enhanced socio-economic well-being. Kafanchan is set to receive President Muhammadu Buhari, who shortly is expected to inaugurate projects there under Kaduna Urban Renewal Initiative. He is to inaugurate Yahaya, Katsina, Ibadan, and Emir routes. He will also be visiting the palace of Emir Muhammadu Isa Muhammadu on courtesy visit. All right, in Kaduna, we have Abdullahi Suleiman Rigachiku, who is standing by to give us an update on what is happening there. Hi, Suleiman.
Thank you very much, Nolene, and welcome to Kaduna.
Now, can you tell us what's happening at the moment in Kaduna as regards to a president's visit?
Well, actually, what is happening right now in Kaduna metropolis and environs, as well as other two major cities of the state, Kafanchan and Zaria, is that of complete readiness for presidential blessing of all the developmental projects being executed under the Urban Renewal Project by Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai of Kaduna State. This is in form of new road networks connecting the cities to rural areas for enhanced economic development under and overpass bridges all across these three major cities in Kaduna State. So right now, the report we have gotten is that the president is going straight to Kafanchan to inaugurate Danghaya Road, Katsina Road, and also the road linking to Emir's Palace. These are the major roads in Kafanchan town, that is in Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State. Then after that, in the afternoon of this day, the president is expected back to Kaduna to commission or to inaugurate the road project being executed by Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai in Kaduna City. Behind me is the popular Cow Bridge that was constructed by Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai. Is almost 1 kilometer long, and also some other bridges across the state, Leventis Runabout, so many other bridges in the city. So the situation now is that of full readiness for presidential blessing of these projects. The security around the places designated for inauguration is really tight, but people are allowed to go about their legitimate businesses through alternative routes being provided. And this is an indication that really this is a government of the people, and of course the government is really concerned about people's welfare, and people are allowed to go about their businesses without any hindrance.
All right, Suleiman, apart from this road project that the president is going to inaugurate, which other projects are you anticipating the president is going to commission?
Other projects, there is this popular Murtala Muhammad Square sporting facilities there, which were dilapidated for so many years. So the governor has upgraded them, and with state-of-the-art equipment, and also shopping malls in the form of ShopRites were all constructed, especially in the city of Kaduna here. And other, market projects, markets were, old markets were demolished. They have given way for the construction of new ones. One in Sabangarizaria, there was one already inaugurated by the vice president in Kasuam Magani. And some other markets across the state. There is the ongoing cow market here, and also Kaswar Bachi market. They were all remodeled, and these these are some of the gigantic projects that the president is going to inaugurate. And again, standing with me to shed light on some of the benefit of this project to the economic development of the state is one of the residents of Kaduna in the person of
Chief Monde Onyabo Judge.
How do you look at these projects that the president is coming to bless today?
We have to thank the Excellency Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai for the development I brought to Kaduna, because I've been in Kaduna for 31 years. So I've never seen a governor has done a good job like Governor Ahmed Nasir El-Rufai. Because if you come to Kaduna now, Kaduna has turned to Dubai, especially at this bridge in Kawo. If you have not been in Kaduna for more than 1 year now, if you came to Kaduna again, you will not even understand Kaduna again.
So Kaduna is now a new paradise.
It's more than even a paradise. I can even compare Kaduna with Dubai now.
What will be the economic benefit? You are a businessman.
There's no any go slow. You go your business freely and come back, and the security, everything is perfect.
Thank you very much, Chief. So that is a testimony by one of the Kaduna residents saying that this will really encourage socio-economic activities in the city. He has been in Kaduna for almost 30-something years, and he has never seen unprecedented development like this. And that is the sentiment of many whom we have interviewed in our various special reports.
All right, thank you so much, Abdullahi Suleiman Rigachiku, for the update. Of course, we will keep you posted as activities unfold there. Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has commended traditional rulers, especially those of the northern part of the country, for their contributions in tackling insecurity and peace building in their respective domains. The Vice President gave the commendation while delivering the 2022 annual Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Leadership and Good Governance Lecture in Kano. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Standing solidly with the federal government in its fight against internal and external aggressions are the traditional rulers across the country. The northern parts of the country have been worst hit by the activities of bandits, kidnappers, and terrorists. The 8th annual Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Leadership and Good Governance Lecture provides a platform to further underscore the role of the traditional institution in engendering peace and security in the country.
The extensive influence within the existing northern traditional leadership is urgently needed today more than ever before. The soul of the North and of Nigeria, by extension, is being contested by some of the most evil and destructive forces in contemporary history. And there are modern examples of the overwhelming human carnage that can result if we do not put up tough collaborative resistance. Mr. President has on numerous occasions reiterated the view that our peace and security architecture must recognize that traditional institutions are our first line of defense against the forces of anarchy.
The theme of the lecture speaks to the revival of northern traditional institutions as an urgently needed habitat for peace and security.
We must rediscover the bridge-building roles of our forebears and speak up for the values that have held us together thus far. We have the moral responsibility of raising a standard for our young people. This includes speaking up consistently for peace and justice, and also listening patiently to their grievances. Our traditional institutions possess all the emotional channels that penetrate far deeper than the most sophisticated surveillance equipment can.
Guest Speaker Justice Sidi Bagay, Emir of Lafia, set the ball rolling by calling for total recognition of the traditional institution as key to good governance.
We must look at the position that the traditional rulers occupy in our society today. Why did Sadona succeed in his administration? Simple, 2 words: justice and fairness. He gave justice to everybody. He was fair to all.
Plan properly as a community, as a government, and as a people.
Engaging the institution in finding lasting solutions to the current trend of insecurity
must be brought to the front burner of policy review.
I think in order to revive this institution, we should also consider contemporary issues in our modern Nigeria.
The vice president, before departing Kano, paid condolence visits to the families of late Hassan Naif, late Bashir Tofa, and late Sheikh Ahmed. In Kano, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
You're still watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll pause here for a break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Sequel to the achievement recorded with the Anchor Borrowers Initiative, the federal government has again demonstrated its emphasis on the repositioning of agriculture as the Federal Executive Council at its meeting on Wednesday gave approval for the provision of farm inputs and equipment worth billions of naira to boost the National Youth Farmers Scheme. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has details.
The National Young Farmers Scheme is an initiative of the National Agricultural Land Development Authority to engage 1,000 youth in each of the 774 local government areas in agriculture. One of the memos presented and approved was for the provision of various agricultural inputs and farm equipment for the National Young Farmers Scheme.
Food security of this country actually depends on when we take charge of our production, and the federal government is not just investing or promoting rice; it's promoting 23 other crops, and this is another example of how we are trying to penetrate down to encourage our farmers, our young people to own land. We give them land, we prepare the land for them. We also give them equipment, and fertilizers and other agri products to ensure that we have food security. 14
new projects were approved by the Council for the Ecological Office for Erosion, Flood Control and Road Improvement Works.
These projects are divided across the 6 geographical zones.
Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, got approval for the 4 memoranda he brought before the Federal Executive Council.
The first one has to do with the clearing of equipments we bought for the Deep Blue project, which will enable us to site some of these projects in the coastal towns along the Nigerian coast. 2,785,856,131 naira. The federal government has approved a contract for the reconstruction of the narrow gauge track from Minna to Baro.
It would be recalled that the Vice President earlier this week inaugurated a committee to oversee and monitor the implementation of the Deep Blues project.
Presented 2 memos. All of them are for road projects, which keys into the FCT administration and Mr. President's desire to prioritize infrastructure projects. The first one is the approval for the award of contract for the full scope development of the FCT Highway number 105. Highway number 105 is popularly known as the Kuje Road. That's the road that links Kuje satellite town with the interchange at Kiami. Second one is the road leading to one of the rail stations along the Abuja city rail system, and that is the station at Bazango. Bazango is a community within Buhari.
The meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Senate has passed the National Rice Development Council bill, coming shortly after President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled a 1.2 million bag paddy rice pyramid in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that this will further provide the legal framework for the presidential initiative.
Support amenities.
The bill seeks to establish a council that will specifically manage rice value chain in the country through the provision of research and the comprehensive development of local rice production. Senator Bima Inagi sponsored the bill.
Today, we have Paddy Rice Dealers Association of Nigeria
the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, the Rice Processors Association, the Millers Association, and many others. There's no rallying point for them. So this bill seeks to establish the Rice Development Council.
That the Senate do consider the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the National Rice Development Council.
We expect that this will go a long way in ensuring that we have the right seats, we have the right environment as far as rice production in Nigeria is concerned.
The bill seeking to provide for the regulation of health education practitioners, sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, passed second reading.
To set regulations as standard for the profession, discipline of erring members, and advanced professionalism in the profession, and for other related matters.
Senator Sabi Abdullahi drew the attention of the Senate to what he described as renewed bandit attacks in Niger North Senatorial District, with similar situation in Plateau North Senatorial District, as emphasized by Senator Istifanus Gang.
And other security agencies involved in the ordered operations to closely monitor and block the escape paths or routes used by the bandits and fleeing terrorists to forestall their relocation to safe havens in other parts of Niger State.
And also to direct the IGP, Inspector General of Police, to reinforce security for traditional rulers in view of their vulnerability as easy targets of abduction by kidnappers.
Senate paid tribute to late former governor of Oyo State, Adebayo Alao Akala, and late Olubadan Oba Saliu Adetunji, who both died this month. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 25th of January 2022. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Still on bill passage from the National Assembly has reconsidered and passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2010 as Senate approves direct, indirect, or consensus for party primaries, while the House of Representatives rejected consensus. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that these variations between the two chambers will also require further legislative works before transmission to the President.
On the 21st of December 2021, President Muhammadu Buhari informed the National Assembly of his reasons for withholding assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2010. 1 month after, the National Assembly has reconsidered and passed the bill, with the Senate leaving the mode for party primaries to the discretion of the party, which could either be direct, indirect, or consensus.
Desirous of the need to address the observation by Mr. President Commander-in-Chief and make necessary amendments in accordance with Order 87C of Senate Standing Orders 2022 as amended.
This is one of our major pillars and planks in our legislative agenda when we started in 2019. And the calls by our constituents and other stakeholders on the need for us to expedite action on addressing those observations made by Mr. President. And we have done that very, very patriotically.
The House of Representatives, after an intense atmosphere rising from a closed-door session, adopted direct and indirect, but said no to consensus candidate.
House resolves to commit Section 84, Subsection 2 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by the Chairman, House Committee on Business and Rules.
What was considered and adopted by the House was only one clause, and that was clause 84.2. And that was a clause to do with direct and indirect primaries.
Lawmaking is, there are two chambers. If there's any little disagreement, then there's going to be a conference, and the conference will resolve it.
Apart from the mode of party primaries, there are other critical issues contained in the amendment bill. These include the provision of legal backing for card readers, giving the electoral umpire the discretion to decide whether to transmit election results electronically, and the review of campaign spendings. Meanwhile, Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu, said all that President Muhammadu Buhari ultimately wants is the good of all Nigerians, He stated this while briefing Senate correspondents on his meeting with the president on Tuesday night, which borders on national issues.
Very good convention, very good atmosphere. We are going to make Nigerians proud after 26th of February. And I went there to discuss national issues.
Senator Kalu noted that the forthcoming convention of the All Progressives Congress has been fashioned to further strengthen Nigeria's democratic process. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
A report just reaching us indicates that President Muhammadu Buhari a while ago arrived Kafanchang town in Jama local government area of Kaduna State as part of his official visit to the state. We will keep you posted of developments as they unfold. Another break beckons on the program. Stay with us.